My saying is the only way out is through.
How do I be somebody's wife? What does this even look like?
You need to know walking in the room who you are.
I wanted to know who is God. How is this helping, building, or pulling me down?
You're with us for Her Side, and we have Johnetta Lafond today from House of Lafond and ABC's The Parent Test. But her real claim to fame, guys, is the fact that this gorgeous body produced 6, almost 7, whole humans out of herself, okay? And I'm like so shocked because you really are my hero in this sense to be able to actually be able to do this. And they're like just a few months apart from each person, each baby, right?
Yep.
And you're not even done yet. You're thinking, okay, because we talked to your husband and he said y'all got a couple more
He's crazy.
in the making. Yeah, well,
crazy.
I'm very proud of you to even be able to get to where you're at. We're in a position now, we're celebrating fathers this entire month. And I know that for us, the moms, we usually have our thing for Mother's Day where we have a very specific way that we want to do things. And we want to be loved on, we want to be celebrated. And then we got the dads that come over. So I think as moms, we communicate very well, for the most part, on what it is that we do and don't want.
Right.
Whether we're dropping hints and hoping they pick up on it, or whether we're literally just saying like, this is what we need to be doing. This is what you need to do for me. This is what I want to do for Mother's Day, right? Do y'all think that we get this from the guys too on Father's Day?
To a certain extent, I just feel like they want to be left alone.
That could be. We want to be left alone too sometimes. What about that?
My husband's like, it's me and you. Drop the kids off. That's not how Father's Day works, though.
He want to make another baby. Wait, really? So he doesn't want to be by himself?
He doesn't want to be by himself.
It's kind of amazing, though.
He wants to be with me without the kids. But it's Father's Day. Like, you're not my father. Like, fair. You have to be with your kids on Father's Day.
But isn't Father's Day about, what do they want? How do they want to be celebrated? How do they, and that's something that he wants. He wants his beautiful wife.
I guess.
I mean, that's the
you.
question. That's the question, literally. The question is, what actually and people do this all the time, what do fathers actually want on Father's Day? Well, I'm not even trying to find out, like, I tried this already with my hubby where I would ask him, what is it that you want for Father's Day? And he just went like this and never came back to telling me what that is. But I feel like that's our actual life.
I want you.
I didn't even get that. Like, that would have been like, oh, okay, I could figure something out with that. It was like, I think that sometimes they actually don't even know what it is that they want. And so because they haven't sat back to have that conversation to determine, like, this is actually what I want, then they can't explain that to us. So then we're stuck having to just go with whatever this like commercialized holiday, what they give us, which is like, that's when the ties come, that's when the watches come. That's where like you just have to start to figure out a way to get, you know what I mean, get creative to bring something up.
My husband doesn't do any of that stuff either. Any of the cliche like dad gifts, husband gifts, doesn't do any of it. So it's awful. He doesn't know how to grill.
That's out the question.
He'd rather play the sport than watch the sport. So he'll do like the highlights and have those conversations, but he's not like, I just want to sit and watch sports. So I can't get him like a jersey. You know what he started doing?
It's kind of amazing.
He's been like, so what did you do for Mother's Day? Yeah, let's do that again. That was fun. And I'm like, oh, so you just want to do what I did for Mother's Day, for Father's Day. So it'll be like a spa day, and it'll be just us. Like, we have to, I have to incorporate the kids, obviously, because it's Father's
Wait a minute,
Day.
that's a little brilliant, actually. Guys, she might be onto, or her hubby might be onto something, because Mother's Day is before Father's Day.
Yeah.
So do unto others, y'all. Like, for real. Like, if the men come and give the women what we want for Mother's Day, or what they think, how do I say this? If the men give us what they want for Father's Day, for Mother's Day, so they're sending us away, or they're sending us on, to get a spa day or whatever that looks like, then they come back over and they're like, so on Father's Day, what did you do again? Johnetta, what was that?
Same
I think
thing.
I should do the same.
That's what he does. Same thing. It's so funny.
That's actually pretty smart. Like,
So
I
it'll
like
be
that idea.
So we'll do like a spa day. We'll get him, like, I'll have the kids bring him his favorite food. Hashem's obsessed with sushi. So that's like he's sushi breakfast.
Oh.
Who does that, right?
Oh.
Right, who does that? And then we're like, okay, I'm going to take Daddy out. And they're like, we're going to take Daddy out? No.
Not really. So do the kids do anything for Father's Day for them?
he has gotten them to get into the mode of like cleaning up the same thing I would want for Mother's Day.
Wow.
Because he knows that I won't be running around screaming at them or trying to clean up.
Okay.
So he's like, if you clean up instead of like making me stuff, then when I hang out with my wife, she'll be cool. And she won't feel obligated to clean. She won't be irritated.
So he's smart. He got this down pat.
All right, I'm gonna get the kids to clean up. So the kids go, Daddy, what do you want for Father's Day? Can y'all just clean up, please? Can y'all just clean the house? Get it together.
It's like, I want a peaceful house.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So I can have my wife. And that's as good. That's beautiful, Johnetta. Like,
I mean, I enjoy it. I'm like, hey, Father's Day is great all of a sudden.
And we be seeing like all your content and stuff that you guys produce where he's just always like, you guys keep wondering why we keep having babies. Do you see her? This is why. Like, we see that. That's what he wants.
Well, we've been together forever.
He was saying that 50. I know. I don't think you knew this. They were together since kindergarten. Not kindergarten. That's a long
not
time.
Not that long, but
since high school, right?
Yep.
That's amazing.
That's the high school sweetheart. So
and it seems like he's still choosing her. Like
He better.
even for a Father's Day, it's like, look, how he understands the concept of, happy wife, happy life,
Right.
So I think that's amazing.
Yeah, it's fun.
what do we do for like dads that might not necessarily be the most Hashem is always in the picture. You guys live together.
Yep.
Which by the way is just amazing. Just that by itself, because we love to represent and highlight families that are producing strong homes, right? So it's very rare that we find parents in the same house with their child, let alone 6 of their children. So now you guys are in a position where you're raising these kids to be able to see how mommy's treating daddy for Father's Day.
Right.
And how, daddy's treating mommy for Mother's Day. So in this process, as you guys are doing that, you guys are building that strong home and you have that unity within the house. But there are so many people like that is unfortunately not the standard or it's not cliche anymore. That's what everybody used to. I feel like that used to be the standard for families. But now we have a lot of broken homes or a lot of single parent houses. So in the positions where, we might not necessarily have the dad there and they're not so active, what do you guys think about like honor? How do we honor them? Because we had a similar conversation. I was talking with my husband about this. Like, what about the guys that show up in their weekend dads?
Right.
The ones that are not necessarily spending all that time with their children. Do we honor them? How do we do that?
I mean, but they're still dads.
It's
still a role. It's still the job.
So then we talked about, is it dads or fathers?
Yeah, they're so
very different.
The spectrum is so broad. I feel like you said, dads versus fathers. Yes, they're a dad because they have these kids that are present, but are they being a father to them, or how much of a father are they being to them? And with that being the case, it's like, do we honor them? How do we do that?
Wow.
But, I will say that, even in my situation, regardless, only because the type of child that I'm raising, I want him, our principles are based in the Bible, honor thy mother and thy father.
Right.
And I don't want it to be about more so what a person does and does not deserve. It's just about, what am I instilling in him and what am I building in him? And I'm teaching him regardless, you still honor, despite what you feel, despite you feel like if someone's present or not present, you still find a way. There is a way to honor.
Definitely.
That's good.
Yeah.
But what I want to know though, did you have that example growing up? Did you see that in your home?
So I was raised honor your mother and father, but my situation personally is very different. So I had a stepdad who didn't even live with us. So him and my mother were in their relationship, their business, whatever, but he agreed to be my dad in the sense of, hey, you're stepping in as a role of a father for me. So can I call you dad? And he was like, yep, I'm your dad. Walk me down the aisle, everything. So
how old were you?
I was 6, about 6 when we had like that conversation.
Oh.
And he's been there, and I honored him. 2 years ago, he had passed away. But within that time frame, in 2020, about 2020,
I remember, yeah.
Hashem, my husband, took me on a journey to meet my biological father's family. Wow. So I met my 3 older brothers. I found out that my father is the oldest of 14. So I've met a ton of aunts and uncles. And now I know that when the time comes for me to meet my father, I will honor him. I mean, I wouldn't do for him necessarily what I did for my dad, but there will be honor and respect of, you are my father, and
you respect the position.
Yes,
that's what I was. So we have a teen talk where we have a group of teenagers that we take out every month, and we've had this conversation because we've always talked to them about respecting their parents, respecting their dads, and their moms, of course. And then I remember specifically one of the kids were like, "But what if they're not respectable?" I was like, but it's a real question, right? What if they're not respectable? Because the kids have opinions too, and they might not be allowed to express them, like where they're saying we don't respect you, but they have the thought in their mind. And so the conversation that we had, again based off of biblical principles, was the idea of the fact that in the Bible there was David and Saul, and Saul at the time was the king, and he was chosen as a king by God, like appointed by actual God. But David, Saul also wasn't the best king. He actually wasn't very respectable as a king at all. Right. And there was a time when David could have killed him, and probably should have, because he was running from him and Saul was trying to kill him. And so David had the opportunity to kill him and get rid of the monkey on his back, like the target on his head, and he didn't. Instead, he was like, he actually says, "Far be it from me that I would actually stretch my hand towards the Lord's anointed and do anything to harm the anointed one of God, basically. I'm going to respect the position that he's in, even though I don't respect the man, and even though he's not respectable. I'm going to do what my job is." And I really think that that's so important to live by, especially if we're living by biblical principles, that whether your dad is a respectable person, whether your dad is a father because he gave you some of his DNA, or a daddy because he was there for you and you connect to him, honoring the position is what's important, I feel like, on Father's Day. And it might just be in a text message of, "Happy Father's Day." Period. You're a father, I'm saying hi. That's it. Right. Because you're not here. You don't spend time with me. I don't know you. I don't feel that I should do anything much more. I'm not sending you a gift. I'm not, there might be people that feel that way, but you can still honor your dad by just acknowledging that he gave you some DNA. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Or it could be, let me actually take the time to get to know my daddy and to see what he does want, or what does he feel like would make him feel celebrated. And I'm going to then put that into action and do it so he knows that I love him.
You know what's interesting though is, like, I've actually seen relationships change because of the choice of honoring. And so Hashem has actually had issues with his dad at one point. Excuse me. He had issues with his dad at one point, and Hashem was like, "Well, I'm supposed to honor you." So the effort and more effort Hashem put forth, their relationship is absolutely beautiful.
Oh my God.
Absolutely beautiful.
Does he live here?
Nope, he lives in California. He lives in Boston. Yeah, we live in California. He lives in Boston, and they get on the phone. They talk about cars, and his dad's been teaching him how to cook over the phone.
So this is a relationship that has blossomed recently.
I mean, a little longer than recently, but just I've seen it over the years, because again, we've been together since high school. But so because when we and Hashem first met, he was like, "I don't talk to my dad," and I was like, "How dare you? Like, I don't know my father. If I had the opportunity to know my father, I wouldn't miss out on that opportunity. So you have that man in your life right now, and you're choosing not to talk to him. That's not okay." And so he was like, "Oh shoot, okay."
You see the power of a good woman.
Well, I guess I'll go talk to my dad.
That's good.
And his father's Haitian, so I mean, there's cultural things in that as well. But Hashem just continued to honor him, and like I said, now he'll call him and be like, "Hey, Jonetta's too sick to cook. I have all this stuff. What do I make?" And his father be like, "All right, put this together for her," and healing food. And I'm like, "Hey, this soup is amazing."
So do you get along with him too?
Oh, I love him. Yeah.
So Father's Day comes along, because I remember you and I having a conversation briefly, and your hubby, of the fact that you expect for Mother's Day for your hubby to spend lots of time and effort on you, because you are the mother of his child. I mean, of his child. Children, children, right?
Of his tribe.
Multiple children, right? But he also has a mama. And then he has you, your mom as well, right? To honor all these moms. What about you for Father's Day? Do you find a way to be able to have a happy little medium where he's honored, you're spending time with your dad? I mean, it might be different because you don't live there.
Right. So, I mean, listen, one of the best things that we did was take our family and move really far away. I know that sounds absolutely crazy.
Doesn't.
It's hard. It makes it harder, but for our marriage and our relationship, it helps.
Yes.
And then when the relatives and in-laws come to visit, it's a beautiful thing as opposed to a frustrating thing. So we can raise the kids exactly how we want with no input because nobody's here to give their input. And so that really helps. And so like for my mom, like for Mother's Day, I make sure, everybody's getting their gifts, everybody's getting their phone calls, but we're not flying back to Boston for Mother's Day because I'd be miserable. Like, no, absolutely not. And not even to celebrate them. It's just, I don't like Boston. I'm over it. Loved it when I was there. Glad to be gone.
Get it.
Like,
These are Boston women, by the way.
From
They're Boston
too,
girls.
we get it.
Can't do it.
They can say that. They're from Boston.
For real.
Can't do it. So it wouldn't work out. It just would be a terrible day.
What do you plan to do now? What are we gonna do for
Mother's Day or
for Father's
Father's
Day?
Day?
What do we do for?
Yeah, like, do you like get all the kids together? Is it like a hush hush? You get all the kids together and say, okay, what do you guys want to do? Or I have a suggestion. Like, how does that go with all of the kiddies?
It's kind of a catch-22. Hashem's not a big fan of surprises.
Okay.
Because he'd rather tell me no before he tells me I don't like this. So if I surprise him with something, I'm like, it's great, right? And he's like, no.
Oh my gosh.
This is not great.
That's what they were saying too. Like the guys in general is the whole idea of the fact that we might want to do something and they're like, no, I don't like it, but they don't want to tell us that because, but they say that we're too emotional, we can't receive it, and they're so harsh in the way they want to tell it to us. So it's almost like I don't want to share with you what I really do want to do or don't want to do because you can't handle it. Is it really that? Or is it that they haven't really sat back to think of like, what do I need? What do I want?
I think it's more a matter of make sure it's things that I actually like. So like I said, he likes sushi. I'm not cooking sushi. I could possibly learn. It's just not a desire of mine to know how.
Why should you have to?
I mean, there's plenty of great sushi places. So I'm going to go out and get you sushi.
Okay.
Because I know you need to eat, right? So it's either I cook or I give you sushi. You might get both, right? One year, Hashem doesn't love sweets, but he likes them. But he was like, I want sweet potato pie for Father's Day. I don't want to wait till Thanksgiving, Christmas, all that. I just want sweet potato pie. So I got the kids together and we made him a sweet potato pie. At the time, Anaya couldn't figure out the difference between tomatoes and potatoes. So she was like, Daddy, we made you a sweet tomato pie for Father's Day.
So cute.
And he was like, you made me a what?
Yeah.
And I was like, she meant potato, sweet potato pie, sweet potato pie. And so, I mean, it's simple. So because I would like cake. Bring me some cake.
Yeah, I'm with you.
He's like, don't bring me cake.
But I love that he knew something so specific that he wanted. Sweet potato pie, like specifically, because now you have a deliverable that you can match and you can meet that expectation. You know exactly what is required or desired. You can go and figure that out and you can produce that. And there should be happiness at the end of this.
But love languages help.
Yeah.
Because Hashem is not a gifts person. So, which is awful and great at the same time, because if he was a gifts person, I'd be in the store like, what in the world? Because again, no ties, he doesn't grill. What else do they market for dads? Nothing.
Yeah.
And so I'm not getting him a wallet. I'm not getting him a watch.
Not a Rolex.
A tie clip.
#1 daddy trophy.
Oh my God. He'd be
God.
like, how much did you spend on this and give me my money back? Like, I'd rather go to Popeyes. That's what he would say. So it's like, he's not a gifts person. His love language is quality time, even though he'll try to say that's my love language. But we're always together. So clearly it's both of ours, right?
Yeah.
But he likes acts of service. So let's go to the spa and relax and let me feed you.
Okay.
So if those two, I feel like if those two things are like taken care of, he's pretty much, like
He's
it's a
okay.
win, right? Can't really go wrong. If I show up with a tie, it's gonna be a problem. He's gonna be like, I'm leaving.
Because you don't put any thought into
out.
it. That's like us, like you bringing us just flowers and that's it. Like you didn't put any thought into it. What do we do, Paulette? What do we do for Father's Day for the special daddy that's in our life? What is that? What should we do this year?
You're asking me, right?
Yeah, I'm asking you.
Don't get him a tie.
I would say guys, I feel like are a lot more simple than we make them out to be. We're the ones that are a little bit more intricate. And a lot of times we give based off of what we want to get.
Absolutely.
Right.
And sometimes we just need to quiet down and just hear our guys. They tell us, it may not be in the way that we want them to communicate, but I feel like they're always communicating to us. It's just like I said, we just have to slow down and hear them. But for my case, I don't know, I don't do Father's Day that much. I tell my son, I say, make sure you call your father, wish him happy Father's Day, get a card, just the basic things. His dad is not really into it too. And I guess that just comes from like how we all grew up. His dad really didn't have that type of relationship with his dad.
Right.
My father, it's not in my life. So I don't even know how to like say, okay, you need to do this or do that. I don't know what that's supposed to look like.
You did the Happy Father's Day text.
Yeah,
That's what you get.
Like, and sometimes, there were periods of time that I didn't even do that.
Oh, wow. Okay, well, we'll work on that. We'll work on the honoring the other part of our child's DNA concept, right?
We're working on that.
I think you hit it really well. And guys, this is something that if you don't know exactly what to get your person, Paulette started by saying, I think we need to quiet down. I know my husband would be happy with just that sentence. You could have stopped there. Just quiet, just hush. Give them some peace and quiet, and then try to listen and see if there's something that, that we can pick up on, that we can actually give to them to honor them. And if you are in a position where you're struggling with honoring the person that you might not feel is so respectable, maybe it's the father and not the daddy that's in your child's life, there's still a level of honor and respect that we could do. You put the effort in, just send a text, Happy Father's Day, spitefully as you need to, but just honor the fact that that is the other part of your little creation that you guys made together.
Yes, I think that's very powerful. Like even the word says, a soft answer turns away wrath. So even if there's like conflict or things going on, just saying Happy Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day.
Just the thought of you thought of me.
I hope you have a great day.
That's good.
And it's a genuine thing. It's you do want people to have a great day, because if they have a great day, then there's something happening within them where they're transforming. They're hopefully, they're experiencing these moments that would allow them to have a great day. Hopefully that'll impact you and your situation, in your relationship, and the kids. So, and ultimately, we know that men need respect. That's their biggest thing. So if we could just find a way to respect the fathers in our lives, whether it's our husband or our father, stepfather, biological father, or even our kid's father, whoever it may be, I think that will speak volume, and it will speak volume into who they're supposed to be. Even if they don't know the father that they're supposed to be, I think it just gives them like that little extra boost.
I love that. Good job.
Yeah.
That's a great response. And I love all your examples. This is really helpful. Seriously, sincerely. So, okay, we got this. We're going to try, ladies, to be a little bit more quiet, a little bit more open to listen, a little slower to be angry, and respectful. So let's do that.
Find out
this
what it
year
is
for Father's
that
Day.
gives them respect.
There we go. Good job.
Yeah.
Good job. Okay. Thank you, Johnetta. I really appreciate you so much. Let's do that this Father's Day, guys. We're going to do that together.
Take the extra step.
There you go.
Let's hear from her side, her side. When I talk.